Welcome to A Drink of Wisdom with Jay Wise, Nathan Drinkard. I'm your host, Cody Ward. Thanks for spending some of your time with us tonight. What's going on, guys? Happy Friday.
Hey, what's up, man? As every athlete on earth says after any play in the game, let's go!
And one.
Let's talk some sports, baby.
Oh my, that's probably the best one yet. And episode 53, Steph Curry's back. It's about to get real for the Lakers. And could Al Michaels return to ESPN? But first, Thursday night NBA action was headlined by a potential Western Conference playoff matchup. Kawhi Leonard put up 25 points and led the Clippers past the Rockets 120 to 105. It was a rough night for the Rockets, who found the lid over the basket all night long. As a team, they shot 7 of 42 from 3, 2 for 22 in the first half, and they didn't find much more success inside or at the foul line. Westbrook did his best with 29 points, but they were buried by the Clippers in the second half, and that was that. The win is 6 straight for the Clippers, who are getting healthy and lethal at the right time, while the Rockets are now tied with the Jazz for the 5 seed. So, Drake, was this game more about the Clippers or the Rockets?
This game was absolutely about the Clippers, baby. And let me tell you why. Hey, as a Lakers fan, I must say, this post All-Star break crap that the Clippers are pulling out here in these streets, starting to have your boy with knee pains at night. Listen, they didn't brought the A game. But none, they didn't brought the A game. This team is healthy, and they still like out here signing people off the street just because they can. And listen, the Rockets came out here with that bull crap about small ball. Tell me how that's working out for you now, because they looked real phenomenal last night when you play a real team. That small ball was cracking, wasn't it? More like small goal. That's what it looked like, small goal. Because listen, the Clippers was out here balling these guys up like they wasn't nothing but a JV team, like they was San Diego State trying to make the NCAA tournament. That's what I thought I was seeing. I seen some red, but it didn't look like Houston Rocket red. With all that said, I was highly disappointed with the Rockets, if you can't tell. And here's the reason why. I thought the Rockets were going to be more competitive. I thought with the changes that they made to their roster, this was going to unleash Westbrook and Harden. I can't say unleash Westbrook, but Harden, I don't know what he's been doing lately, man. Like, I don't know if he's tired. Somebody give him an IV. He need to hydrate more. Change his shoes at halftime. You tell me. Maybe he need to pull an Odell Beckham and find out how to wear a $5,000 watch. I don't know. But they need to figure some things out. This ain't it. You're looking at a first-round sweep if you keep this crap going on. I'm telling you that right now. No, because if you don't get in the top 4, which, okay, they are positioned in the top 4 right now, but if you don't maintain a certain pace with the Clippers and the Jazz and these other teams that fighting for top 4 seeding, you're gonna mess around and have to play the Clippers in the first round. And let me tell you, we seen last night how that's gonna go. Now, enough about the team that couldn't get it done. Let's talk about the team that did get it done. The Clippers. They look, man. Let me tell you something. This team focus. It's unfair, man. It's unfair. This is unfair. Like, what are you supposed to do with this? Somebody tell me, what are you supposed to do with it? This team, when it's healthy, it works players like Patrick Beverly, and he's like the linchpin to the team. That's their worst player. Like, if you went there and you broke down this team, you'd be like, what guy could they probably go without, or what guy would you pick last in a pickup game? It would probably be Patrick Beverly. He'll be the last guy. But he's also the guy that's turning over the ball at half court, talking trash, in your mug the whole game, getting that defense started. I looked at them last night, and I'm just like, James Harden looked like just another guy here. He don't even look like Mr. Dropping 50, Mr. I'm leading the NBA in scoring or whatever the case might be. He looked nothing like that last night. You know, he looked like the James Harden that came out of Arizona State, like strictly out of Arizona State before the building and everything. He did not look anywhere like the spectacular MVP specimen that we have grown accustomed to. The free throw master, the I'm gonna make up a move and get away with traveling master. He didn't look like none of that. They neutralized everything he tried to do last night. With that, what they had to do, they had to go over to Westbrook. Westbrook did pick up the slack, not enough because they was getting smoked for majority of the game. And Kawhi did his thing with a smooth quad 25. Paul George with 13. What do you do with this? Like, I was watching this game and wondering, like, I don't. You gotta hope 3, 4 of these guys get hurt in the series. Like, you over there with a checklist. Like, oh, he nicked up, got him off. Oh, he hurt. Yep. Paul George. The only thing that can stop this Clippers team, I think, is injuries. And at this point, it's just injuries. If they stay healthy, good luck. Good luck. And I'm a Lakers fan. Jay know this. I'm gonna go ride. I'm gonna stay with my boys. I'm gonna stay with the Lakers, but sometimes we just fans of teams that just can't get it done and that won't get it done. And I think I might be a fan of one this year because this Clippers team is fantastic. They look just too lethal. They healthy. And the only way you beat them in 7 games is somebody got to get hurt. Because it's going to be tough sledding to beat these dudes 4 times in a series. So, after that performance last night, I'm just keep it sweet and say this game was more about a healthy Clipper squad than it was uninspired Rocket squad, I'll call them.
Yeah, no big issues with what you're saying and the position you've taken. You can actually make a great argument that this was about the Clippers, and they were absolutely fantastic last night. And this is what we've been waiting for, and I've been saying this for weeks now, and it's been primarily about Paul George. And Paul George, he's back in the lineup. He's playing, still isn't performing at max capacity, but he's on the floor. And you talk about James Harden. I mean, when you got Kawhi and Paul George, and then you slide in Marcus Morris, they can all stay in front of James Harden. They're all longer than James Harden, so they can contest those threes and make it a lot more difficult. And when you just got those defenders in waves coming at him, it makes things tough. And James Harden absolutely struggled last night. But this is about the Rockets for me, and here's why. We talked about this small ball thing, micro ball, whatever the new terminology it is for it. It had some success early on. They was coming in there on fire, 10-2, catching people sleeping. And they just lost to the Knicks, and we just want to brush that aside. No big deal. These things happen. Well, you lost 2 in a row now, and you got, in my mind, you got exposed. And this is what teams should have been doing for ever since this small ball lineup come out there. I was so impressed last night with the Clippers, how they attacked the game from the start, how they utilized really the one guy on their roster with size in Ivica Zubac. This guy's 17 and 12. I don't think he played more than 24 minutes maybe. But man, he was going to work in there. He was on the offensive glass. He was on the other side of the glass too, defensively. They had him in there posting up on people, just forget about it. You got no chance. PJ Tucker, you're too little. Covington, you're too little. Just forget about it. So when Zubac was on the floor, they did an absolutely outstanding job taking advantage of his size advantage. And then when you bring in Montrezl Harrell, I mean, the Clippers are at their best when they downsize, and Montrezl Harrell plays the 5. So now you got the Rockets playing their version of small ball. The Clippers downsize to their best lineup, but even when the Clippers go small, their length is still, superior to what the Rockets do. And they do. And this was what we've been waiting for. I've been waiting for. Defensively, I wanted to see these guys at peak performance. And this is one of those examples. I mean, the Rockets had 65 points after 3 quarters. They got locked down throughout this game. And you can talk about, the 3-point shooting. I mean, the Rockets there's no way you go 7 for 42. Or what was it, 2 for 22 in the first half? But a lot of it was due to the tone. Chris Broussard on Undisputed went at this a little bit early. He referenced the tone that the Clippers set from the jump, and it really had an effect on the game. They came out there intense. They came out there ready. You can tell they came out there with something to prove. Like, oh, small ball? Yeah. We got something for you. We gonna show you. We gonna show you how to play tonight. And
We
they
can play
absolutely
that a
did.
little bit too.
Yeah. And again, and not to toot my own horn or anything, or puff my chest out, but I had referenced this when they started playing small ball. This is how I would do it in terms of this is what when I look at the stat sheet. If I didn't watch this game at all and I look at Westbrook's line, this is what I want. Make Russell Westbrook try to beat you. Key in on James Harden. Don't leave the shooters and let Westbrook try to do it himself. Because history has shown us in Westbrook's career, when he jacks up a lot of shots and the points go up, the record goes down for his team. We've seen this. A Westbrook team is more effective when he's dishing out a lot of assists. That's not what we had last night. The Clippers made it a point to really bother James Harden and try to limit him, and they did a great job of that. And once they built that big lead, I mean, the Rockets, they don't have a plan B. It's either three-pointers or layups, and when you're up by, 15, 20 points, you just guard the three-point line, make them go to the basket. If they don't go to the basket, they're taking bad shots now because you're putting extra emphasis on the three-point line. And then on the other end, you can't stop this. You can't stop Kawhi and Paul George. I mean, I know you got some nice dudes on the other side, and Tucker and Covington, and we get all that. We got respect for those guys and their defensive abilities. But in the grand scheme of things, this is a mismatch, and the Rockets, they are who they've been all season. They tried something different. Daryl Morey went for the gusto, and but they're going to come up short as they always do. They're a second-round playoff team at best, and that's what it is. But on the Clippers side, this has been my belief the entire season. They look like at the beginning of the season the best team in basketball, at least in the West. They look like the best team in the West. I'm of the mindset that we'll see Clippers Bucks in the finals, and the health and the togetherness and the defense they play now. And let's face it, the additions they made, especially with Marcus Morris and adding Reggie Jackson, they have continued to improve throughout the season, not just playing together and getting healthy, but the front office of the Clippers has done an exceptional job of continuing to add pieces to this team. They haven't been satisfied, and now it looks like you get to this time of year, this is when you want to start approaching your best basketball. And last night was an excellent example of that.
Yeah, they are impressive. We would talk about it back and forth. You kicked it a lot about, is the Lakers better, the Clippers better. I think as you're coming around the corner and you're starting to see this Clipper squad get full healthy, everyone's signed now. I mean, they're clearing out buyout markets. They're looking up under the shelves for people. I mean, they're covering every base and then some. And they're looking really impressive. I mean, last night they started off, I thought, a little shaky. But even when the first quarter, I thought they were taking bad shots, and they weren't quite locked in yet. They were still up in the first quarter. It was pretty amazing. But once they settled down, they just kind of, like you said, they set the tone and they played their style of ball. And Houston they collapsed pretty quick under having to do what they didn't want to do in the first place, which is, like you said, drive to the lane, and not just sit there and shoot threes because they weren't making them. And the talent of the Clippers just really outshined what the Rockets had after the two duos. When you go down to 3, 4, 5 and on, the Clippers there's just way too much talent there. And for the Rockets, I think Chris Webber, he said during the broadcast, was spot on. We talked about energy and effort, and we always kind of use it kind of cliche, like, oh, guys, play hard or whatever. But the Rockets, they've got to play hard. They've got to be the absolute most junkyard dog every single night, every single possession, every single loose ball. Like, these dudes can't afford to even come off the gas 5% because you're not going to win with this lineup without it. I mean, some teams can come out there on cruise control, sleep through a quarter, like whatever. Like, Lakers, AD and LeBron, they'll do whatever. It's fine. But Rockets, you can't do that. And the second half, they came out a lot more focused and they played a lot harder. But by then, I mean, you were already buried. And like you said, the one thing they could do to shoot threes to get out of it wasn't working. And the shooting, man, on top of the threes, they weren't even finishing at the rim. And they weren't even finishing in the paint when they were getting in there. I mean, it's bad enough when you're bricks in downtown, but they couldn't even get to the rim. And again, when you have no fallback, when there's nothing else to do, I mean, yeah, Harden can get to the line and get his fouls, but other than that, I mean, you look at some other teams that have a lot of three-point shooting, like the Bucks. There's other things they can do besides shoot threes. They're going to probably do it a lot, but there's other ways they can score. The Rockets just don't seem like it. And overall, this team is just going to be snake eyes or fly eyes every night. I mean, they're going to come out there, they're going to smoke some teams, and when they're on, they're going to be hard to beat. But they're off, and they're going to be probably more off than they're on in the playoffs. I just don't see how this team is going to like win a 7-game series, right? And for the Clippers, I didn't have a whole lot. I didn't like how Marcus Morris was just kind of throwing up all kinds of stuff. I kind of wish we'd settle down with
He
that.
took
There's
a
a lot
lot
to
of
like with
shots.
this game. He was just like it was a shot slate. He was just jacking up stuff. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing, man? And the shot slate really wasn't that great as a whole team. The flagrant on Beverly was kind of a bad call.
Oh
but
my gosh.
that was horrible.
Yeah.
But I
That's
sent 2 stats to hit you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, that I'm glad you brought that up. That's another thing about Patrick Beverly. That first of all, that was not a flagrant foul. That was an absolute joke. Patrick Beverly about the only dude that can commit a foul and get hyped off it. Like, yeah, get up, y'all. Yeah, commit that foul.
Yeah,
Stop
I'm
that layup.
telling you, man. If that's your
Yeah.
worst player, like, what are you gonna do?
Right. I'll leave y'all with this. Per ESPN Zach Lowe, with Morris now in the lineup, the Clippers starting lineup is plus 41 in 95 minutes on the court together. And their starting lineup outscores opponents by 12 for 100 possessions in 700 minutes with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard on the floor together. We know there's some injury concerns. They're starting to get healthy. George is healthy now. Kawhi's playing some more games. Add that into the best bench in the NBA, in points and things like that. There's always a tool in the toolbox, and man, going forward, this you have to think these guys are the favorites or 1Bs with maybe Milwaukee or the Lakers, but
yeah, that's what's scary about this team. As lethal and great as this starting five appears to be, when Paul George, at some point I gotta believe we're gonna see Paul George like actually play up to how we know he can, but like there's no break on this team because when the bench guys come in, when you get Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell coming in, like there's no break because they coming at you the same way.
But like you brought up the point about before the season, right? We was worried about Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams. No, Lou Williams get to play off the ball now. He gets to play his original spot now because now you got Reggie Jackson.
That's right.
Yep. It's just like, come on, man. It's like this starting to get the Golden State effect, man. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here?